Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Tuesday, February 24th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open high with ASX futures up around 0.25%. Among the companies out with results this morning, AUB Group has lifted its earnings guidance after increasing its first half profit to just over $35 million. And Southern Cross Media Chief Executive Jeff Howard has abruptly resigned ahead of its results and just a month after he took the job when the broadcaster merged with Seven West Media. Well, global stocks were dragged lower overnight by fresh uncertainty over US trade policy after President Trump imposed a new 15% global tariff in the wake of a Supreme Court ruling. Stocks on Wall Street tumbled, led lower by software and financial companies, with the losses most pronounced on the Dow. IBM led those losses, while Amex and Visa also fell heavily. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs and Citigroup paced the banks lower, with UBS strategists saying that AI disruption is expected to intensify over the next 2 years and markets could be heading for a credit crunch. Software companies came under more selling pressure after broker Jefferies downgraded stocks including Workday, DocuSign, Freshworks, and shares in Atlassian also tumbling. The healthcare index advanced, boosted by a gain in Eli Lilly after rival Novo Nordisk's obesity drug underperformed Eli Lilly's drug in a head-to-head trial. Among other movers, Domino's Pizza climbed after the fast food chain's fourth quarter same-store sales beat Wall Street estimates, and PayPal jumped on reports that the payments firm is attracting takeover interest. Well, President Trump has warned countries against backing away from recently negotiated trade deals with the US after the Supreme Court struck down his emergency tariffs, prompting him to impose a 15% universal tariff. Posting on social media, the president said any country that wants to play games with the ridiculous Supreme Court decision, especially those that have ripped off the US for years and even decades, will be met with a much higher tariff, and worse than that, which they just recently agreed to. Buyer beware. Well, US data shows factory orders in December fell 0.7%. The Dallas Fed Manufacturing Activity Index rose slightly. And a powerful blizzard has frozen America's northeast, bringing travel to a standstill, while thousands of homes and businesses were without power. Well, President Trump's tariffs has infused new risks and uncertainties into trade policy, US debt and the dollar. The Supreme Court ruling making no decision on refunds, with revenue raised so far by tariffs above $175 billion. The US two-year Treasury yield fell to 3.44%, the 10-year falling to 4.02%. The Australian three-year government bond yield is at 4.26%. The US dollar index is up slightly on the day, with safe haven currencies benefiting. The Aussie is currently at 70.6 US cents. Oil prices ease but remain at a 6-month high ahead of a third round of nuclear talks between the US and Iran, and amid that increasing economic uncertainty around US tariff policy. Brent crude futures down around 0.5% at $71 a barrel. Gold is up 2.5% to a 3-week high, propelled by a fresh wave of safe haven demand on tariff uncertainty. Spot gold trading over $5,200 an ounce. Copper is down. Iron ore up around 0.5% at close to $98 a tonne, and Bitcoin has fallen below 65,000 US dollars. Those companies reporting today include ARB Corporation, EVT, NextDC, Viva, Woodside Energy, Scentre Group, Monadelphous, Tyro Payments and Adore Beauty. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.